and Leo Cahill.
Thank you very much, and good evening from beautiful BC Place. The Argos and the Lions, the two top teams in Canadian football through the halfway point of the season. And we're ready for the kickoff here in Vancouver tonight, Leo. I'm excited about this ball game because both teams have only 2 losses on the season, and they played extremely well from the start.
Well, there's a lot of talk about the Argos going to a new style of offense tonight. We'll have to wait and see. But throughout the week, people like Glenn Jackson, the linebacker for the BC Lions, said they had the Argos figured out. And there's some talk tonight that they're going to change things a little bit. We'll have to see.
We'll look closely for that. The kickoff at BC Place, and we're underway. That's Carl Braisley, one of the new Argos, and a great way to start. Ryan Potter, 33, to make the tackle, and look at the field position. The offensive backfield for the Argonauts will have. Currency is the new member back there. He's played for a couple of games and offers a little bit of a departure from the blocking style of John Bronk. The receivers, some outstanding young men included in that number. And, of course, number 10, Terry Greer, is the player to watch. As far as the Argos are concerned, the offensive line a little stronger recently. Prunster has been playing exceptionally well, according to head coach Bob Obilovich of the Argos. Now it's first down. Holloway in trouble right off the bat. Intended it for Jan Carinci. James Curry supplying the pressure there, so the Lions are after them right off the bat.
Well, I think that the strength of this BC Lion team, John, is going to be the defensive front four. They've been playing great all year. You see Clausen and Curry and Moore and Rassett in there now. And talking to Donnie Matthews, he's really proud of these people and doesn't feel that he's lost too much. You saw the linebackers, and here we go with the deep backs now.
And that set of deep backs as good as any in combination in Canadian football. We'll watch Larry Crawford, number 28, rather closely all evening long. This is 2nd and 10 for the Argos. Holloway unloading long for Terry Greer. He's got the football. Terry Greer beating Parker, and Greer heads to the end zone. Finally dropped down at the 17-yard line. What a combination that was. The former Argos, JoJo Heath, over to make the tackle. This place is alive tonight.
Greer was a little upset because he didn't go all the way on this, but what a fantastic throw by Conridge right here. They're putting some pressure on him there, getting in his face, but he gets up there with a long throw down there. It was almost face guarding there by Parker. Greer caught the ball, and as ring smart as he is, he cut back against the grain, and only some big play there. And actually, Townsend knocked him down, it looked like.
And 56 yards to Terry Greer's total on that reception. First down, Argos once more. Holloway looking to the end zone. Parker can't get to it. The intended receiver was Terry Greer, but Kerry Parker for the Lions was as close as anyone. Paul Pearson, actually, for the Argos in the area as well. So it's 2nd down. The Argos inside the BC Lion 20-yard line rather quickly. Their opening sequence. Conridge Holloway had some injury problems at one stage of the season. Coach Bob Obilovich says he is 100% as of right now. Pressure eludes the first rush of BC Lions and scampers toward the end zone. He'll have the first down, and he's got it all the way. Conrad Holloway. He eluded number 45, Dave McNeil, a newcomer to this BC Lion defense, and Holloway has the first score of the game.
And they're in a 5-man line. They've got 7 defensive backs, it looks like, in there, and he just, as Conridge can do, he beat that contained rush out there, and he just headed for the flag. And just when he got close enough, that flag dove, and all you got to do is get that ball in there, and he did it. That's quite a shock to these fans here in BC this quickly in the ball game.
A 17-yard touchdown for Conrad Holloway. Hank Olisic adds the point after. And the Toronto Argonauts move quickly in front of the BC Lions. 2 minutes and 3 seconds into the opening quarter. The Argos have a 7-point lead.
Carling O'Keefe Sports, your box seat to the CFL. We're bringing you more games than ever. A full interlocking schedule of exciting matchups with new powerhouses and renewed rivalries. It's wide open football CFL style. Catch all the action from your home box seat. Carling O'Keefe Sports, bringing the sports world home to you.
What a great start for the Toronto Argonauts. A 7-0 lead as they kick off. Now Larry Jones bobbled the kick. Sammy Green picks it up for the BC Lions, and Green in trouble back near his 10-yard line. Carl Braisley, first game as an Argonauts. Over to make the tackle. There's Conridge.
Conridge rolls to his left and just beat the rush and came to the outside right here. Now he's got one thing in mind: get to that flag and get in there any way I can. And there he goes for the 7 points. Just outran everybody. And this is the extra dimension that Conridge Holloway has. When everything else fails, he can tuck that ball and go for it.
Now the BC Lions, their first down of the evening, deep in their own zone from the 10-yard line. Roy DeWalt, the quarterback. Some pressure on DeWalt as he unloads for the sidelines. Pankratz, the intended receiver. Rick Moore. The pressure on Roy DeWalt that time.
He took an awful shot from that backside, and that's what a quarterback fears more than anything else. He can see those people coming on his onside, and he can deal with them, but from the offside, you just don't have eyes in the back of your head. And when you get that kind of a hit, it certainly makes you wary for the rest of the ball game.
The offensive line for the BC Lions is big and tough as any in the league, and the veteran in the middle is Al Wilson in his 12th year of Canadian football. 2nd and 10 Lions. DeWalt in trouble once more over the middle. Franklin King applying the pressure. He's number 61 for the Argos.
Well, they tried to get that little dump pass in there in the middle, and Nicholson smelled it out and came up and just made a great play on it.
So the Lions will kick away quickly. Tough start for DeWalt.
Yeah, there's a lot of pressure. Penetration right there. He tries to get the ball in there real quickly to Jones, and you see Nicholson, number 72, see it all the way, playing a man for man and just closed on him.
Lou Pasaglia, an impressive punting average this season. 5 yards deep in his end zone. Just nicely got it away. It's high. Carl Braisley at midfield. Braisley, a 5-yard return to the 50 of the BC Lions. Dennis Javen took the feet out from under Braisley that time. Well, a crowd was expected of over 50,000 here at BC Place. This beautiful stadium holds 60,000.
My first look at it, John, it's a fantastic place. I don't think there's anything like it anywhere in North America.
It's not the largest in the world.
And not a bad seat in the house either. The thing the BC Lions have to do right now is settle down and not let the Argonauts get any more points right away on them.
Quickly, Holloway to the far side to Jeff Townsend. And JoJo Heath, the former Argo, was on Townsend that time.
JoJo Heath said all week long that if the Argonauts want to win this football game, they better not be throwing in his direction. That time they threw in his direction, caught the ball, and broke the tackle, so he better be prepared to back it up.
The Argos chalk up a gain of 8. This is 2nd and 2 from the BC 42-yard line. Cedric Minter, and first down territory easily. Brought down by Tyrone Cruz, number 50. And Don Matthews thinking about the start to this football game. The BC Lions have fallen on a little bit of a tough times in their last couple of ball games. Of course, the Ottawa game last week, a 49-19 loss for BC. The week before, they had the Concord and won, but not that impressively. Look at the top 5 in passing in Canadian football. Warren Moon leads the way. This is Cedric Minter coming out of the backfield, and Minter, 86 yards. Dave McNeil, number 45.
John, we talked about Coach Matthews, and the thing I think that he's brought to the BC Lions more than anything else is a degree of stability with that defensive unit. All the time in the past, the BC Lions have always had the guns to perform miracles and to score a lot of points, but when it came right down to it, their defense faltered at times. He's brought that defense along, and I was amazed last week when Ottawa scored so many points on that defense. He thinks he's got them neutralized again, and a twist that they have out here tonight now is that they're going with 7 defensive backs. They're playing an odd line up front with a man over the center and 2 defensive ends and 2 men on the outside. A 5-man line and 7 defensive backs.
Bernie Glier shaken up. He's made a great deal to the BC Lions this year. A rookie. Now, the Argonauts, second down, and 6 to go. Holloway, plenty of time as he looks toward the end zone. Townsend, the intended receiver, possible second. JoJo Heath. Well, that was a great play by JoJo Heath. Actually, he had himself turned in the wrong direction, and then just at the last minute went over his left shoulder and came back to the ball. Conridge throws, and Townsend's got that open side to the flag there. Looks like he's going to be in position to catch the ball, and JoJo turns at the last minute and gets his hand on it. Great play by JoJo Heath. So that sets up a 41-yard field goal by Hank Olisic. Jan Carinci holding. A flag is down. Olisic is wide. JoJo Heath in the end zone concedes the single point, pending the outcome of this infraction. We may look back to that play by JoJo Heath in this football game as a very big play for the BC Lions.
Cruz is in there at middle linebacker now, and they've got a 5-1. That's 6, and 6 people still as defensive backs.
Referee tonight is Bud Ulrich, and he trots it off against the BC Lions.
BC 17, third down.
Gary Parker offside that time, so it's 3rd down, and a yard to go for the Argos, but they'll still vote for the field goal. It's from 36 yards away this time. So Olisic gets 2 shots for a quarter.
Well, Olisic showed a strong leg all year long, and he's made a great conversion from just being a punter to a punter and a field goal kicker, and he makes that one good, John.
No mistake that time for Hank Olisic, the former Edmonton Eskimo out of St. Joe's High School in Edmonton, Alberta. And Bob Obilovich smiling at a 10-0 lead on the BC Lions. Still 9 minutes, 10 seconds to go, opening quarter here in Vancouver.
Well, there's a lot of people that think, you know, that a punter can't kick field goals, too, because it destroys the rhythm. It's a different kind of a kicking action. But Hank Olisic has got such a strong leg and is such a fine athlete. He's St. Joe High School's claim to fame from Edmonton, Alberta. Never had any college training, never had any former professional training, went right out of high school into professional football.
He's never missed an appearance in the Grey Cup in his entire CFL career.
Isn't that nice? You know what's nice about that? Bunch of money that goes with it.
Well, Hank is making his share, I'm sure. Olisic prepares to kick off, and the BC Lions want to get something going here. Larry Jones, Sammy Green, deep for BC.
Well, although Toronto is off with a 10-point lead, it doesn't take this BC team long to put points on the board.
Let's watch Sammy Green. Braisley at the 21-yard line. Now, one other game underway in Canadian football tonight, as you know. Let's go to Toronto now for an update. Here's Brian Williams.
All right, John, in Winnipeg, Preston Young with an 85-yard punt return for the Montreal Concorde off a punt from Bob Cameron. Wiley Turner finally gets to him to save the touchdown. However, Montreal did go in to score, and Montreal leads Winnipeg in the 4th quarter. Let's return to the Argonauts and the BC Lions.
We'll keep you posted on that game, but for the moment, we're back to BC Place Live. Larry Jones. No running room for the BC Lions in a 1st and 10 situation. 36 Don Moon. The tackle that time for the Argos.
Well, Don yesterday, or John I should say, Don's in Winnipeg, but yesterday in that press conference, I've never seen anybody so relaxed and so confident as Coach Obilovich from the Argos. And he must have known something, because this football team, after a week's rest, and a lot of times that has a disturbing effect on a football team not playing for 2 weeks, but they're out here really playing football tonight.
Oftentimes, that means a slow start. Not so for the Argos tonight. Here's one off, just about escaped. But he's short, and it'll be third down for the Lions, thanks to Earl Wilson of the Argos.
Earl Wilson from the University of Kentucky just played off the block, and when DeVault decided to run, made that play and saved a first down.
Jan Carinci drops back along with Carl Brazeley.
There's DeWalt, and DeWalt, like Conridge Holloway, has that ability to run, but watch that reaction off that ball by Wilson. He just shucked that blocker, flattened out, and made the tackle. We're getting some booing from the stands, but we know that this BC Lions can turn that booing into cheering in a hurry.
Little Pasaglia. Good kick by Pasaglia. Jason Carinci back to the 30-yard line. And from there, the BC Lions tacklers. Swarm all around. Mark DeBrue, former Edmonton Eskimo, led the tacklers that time. That's the score as we have it at this moment. Still 7:36 to play, opening quarter. Can you believe that? A deficit for the BC Lions in the opening quarter. Not only on the scoreboard, but as our CompuStats show, a minus 2-yard total offense for the BC Lions. And the Argos have the ball once more on first down. Cedric Minter ran rather well. Glenn Jackson.
Well, that's the kind of a play right there that they're going to have to come up with to stabilize that defense and to get that football team playing again, get their confidence back. A big play by the BC Lions. The thing that they have to worry about is just like in a combat situation, when that artillery comes in and fires at you, they put you in a state of shock. And actually, the Argonaut artillery has put them in a state of shock. But a couple plays like that, they'll neutralize them a little bit and get them stabilized.
A loss of 7 yards, Leo. 2nd and 17, facing Conridge Holloway now. Back to his 29-yard line.
They're still playing with those 6 defensive backs. Tyrone Cruz in the middle.
Holloway to the near sideline for Paul Pearson. Pearson very close to a first down. Nelson Martin, number 4 for the Lions, forcing Pearson out of bounds.
I asked Obilovich yesterday why Pearson hadn't been catching more balls this year, and he said that he just feels that with Talbert in that other slot that they have more speed and they can go to both of them, and so they're not throwing as much to him. But when they're throwing to Pearson and he's catching the ball, they're moving the football.
The Argos needed 17. That's just what Paul Pearson got. First down, Toronto, across their 50-yard line. Holloway for Terry Greer. Greer down the sidelines. And that goes incomplete. All right, let's join Brian Williams once more for an update on the Winnipeg-Montreal game.
John, in the fourth quarter, it is Winnipeg trailing 23-15 against Montreal. Nicky Hall, the Winnipeg quarterback, has been injured. The touchdown was Evans to Patterson. Again, Nicky Hall's been injured. We'll update you more on that later.
Tough luck for the Bombers once more.
That's a blow for them, John. They can't afford to lose him after losing Brock.
2nd and 10 Argos. Wow, the PC plays. Far side of the field, Cedric Minter. And JoJo Heath, he's playing a whale of a ball game. Number 26 for the Lions.
I noticed the Argos doing something that they haven't done that was kind of a counter. They put Carinci in motion, stopped him on the short side, and then put Pearson in motion to the wide side to indicate that they may be going that way, and Conridge went back to that short side. And that's a little bit of a counter to what they've been doing as far as motion is concerned.
It's 3rd down and 5 for the Argos, and Hank Alisic stands back near his 41.
And this guy can kick it right up to the ceiling.
And that's pretty high in BC play.
And that is really high. No, he didn't kick that very high. They're going to get a return on this one.
This is Melvin Bird. Much better field position for the Lions. Don Moen to make the tackle for the Argos. And we'll see what Roy DeWalt can do with a first down at the 30-yard line. The Argos have hemmed them in pretty deeply on the opening offensive sequences for BC. Still 5 minutes, 24 seconds to play, opening quarter. The Argos are out in front by 10.
Well, the BC Lions have got to have a little success offensively. Now, defensively, they've started to settle down. Now, offensively, they got to start moving the football.
Roy DeWalt, sideline pass. John Pankratz. They call it a catch. Don Moen was covering on Pankratz, who comes up just short of a first down by about a yard.
DeWalt goes back, and Pancratz goes right to the sidelines with not much room to spare. Gets that left foot down, it looked like, just enough to have it be called legal.
What a year Pancratz is having. 6 touchdowns on the season. Last year, he couldn't even break into the BC lineup as a starter.
Well, I think there's a misconception about Pancratz, too. A lot of people think that with the other people like Green and Fernandez that Pancratz is just another receiver, and I was under that impression, too, but someone told me that he left an opportunity to be an Olympic sprinter in order to play football, so he's got the great speed, too.
Big play for the Lions offense here. And Roy DeWalt should have the first down. Appeared to be a bit of a mix-up down there, but no flags came down, so DeWalt has enough for a first down for the Lions, and I believe that's their first of the evening.
It looked like somebody was out in front there about 5 yards. Al Wilson led the charge that time, Leo.
He got a head start.
Well, as long as he got the head start, it's okay, because that means that the ball is moved. There he goes right there off the ball. And DeWalt's big enough that even if somebody isn't blocked in there, he can pull him for a half a yard.
From the 40 now. First down, BC. DeWalt time this time. Just away from the pressure now. DeWalt gets a couple of yards. Couldn't find anybody free upfield. Franklin King, 61, and Matthew Teague, 79, running down Roy DeWalt that time.
He wasn't running for a first down that time, Johnny. He was running for his life.
He gained 6, though.
Well, as we said before, it's a big advantage to have that extra dimension that he and Conridge both have. And it took a great amount of speed, too, because the defensive line had him pretty well hemmed in, but he just outran him to the sidelines. And as you say, got about 6 yards on him.
On 2nd and 4. Far side of the field. First down territory. Marvin Fernandez. Donovan Rose covering on the Fernandez that time. And what a fine 24 has been for the Lions.
Well, when Fernandez goes down and has that opportunity to turn it upfield, they stay off of him, and he can catch a lot of passes like that. And about the time that they think that they're going to take that away from him, he'll turn upfield, and they better have all the coverage in the world, because this guy can run a hole in the wind.
I take it that's fast.
That is real fast.
First and 10 Lions. Another 7 yards. Jacques Chapdelaine. Another newcomer to this Lion roster out of SFU.
I might point out at this point right here that I think the people around here could be very proud of their college football. There's 9 players on these 2 teams that are representing Simon Fraser University, and there's 5 players that are representing UBC. That's 14 players right from this hometown area.
Now, the Canadian college programs have come a long way in the past 5 or 6 years, Leo. There's some outstanding Canadian talent coming into this league every year. A 7-yard pickup. This is 2nd and 3 for BC. Larry Jones, and Jones, good effort for a first down. He appears to be stopped, but has a first down. Darrell Nicholson bringing him down.
There's a little short toss, and you'll see Taylor, number 19, leading the way there, and he gets a block out there. Turns out Brasley, and just they get the first down on the play. This little Taylor is, as they say, he's got to step on 2 bricks to kick a duck in the feathers, but boy, he is tough.
Well, the Lions are playing without John Henry White once more. Not a serious injury, but White will miss this game. In trouble. Leroy Paul. Read that one pretty well for the Argos. Number 4.
Paul's job on that is to do just exactly what he did. He's the last line of contain on the outside, and no matter how much that back fakes around with that football, he's got to stay outside of him and make sure he turns it into the traffic, and he did it. Texas Southern University, they've turned out a lot of good football players.
Leroy Paul, a former Tiger Cat and Eastern All-Star in 1981. His first year with the Argonauts. Now 2nd and 11 facing the Lions. DeWalt in trouble over the middle for Donnie Taylor. He makes the catch, but he's well short of a first down.
The Argos are playing real good defense out here tonight, and that's a lot of credit goes to that defensive staff. They just Now, they got a bunch of no-names over there and a bunch of people that have been brought in from the outside, and there's a lot of folks thought they weren't good enough up front, but they're putting pressure on the passer, and they're having excellent coverage in the secondary.
Steve Aykroyd, 26, back for the Argos. Anticipating a Lou Pasaglia field goal.
The thing that was so good about that defense last year, John, was that they made that pass receiver pay the price when he caught the ball. That's been lacking a little bit, but they're getting it back.
Pasaglia off the target that time. Aykroyd, though, will give up a single point. It was a 47-yard field goal try. So the Lions have to settle for 1 point from Lou Pasaglia that time. He didn't hit it very well at all. He knew it was missing.
You know, the thing that always amazes me is I wonder why they run around in that end zone at this stage of the game.
The score, 10-1 in favor of the Argos. More to come.
Once again, good evening, everyone. I'm Brian Williams at CFL Control in Toronto. Fourth quarter in Winnipeg. Montreal leading Winnipeg 23-15. Here is the Montreal touchdown set up by Preston Young's 85-yard punt return. Evans to Patterson. Winnipeg has added a field goal, so it is now Montreal 23, Winnipeg 18 in the fourth quarter. Let's return to BC Place in Vancouver, the Argonauts and the BC Lions.
First down, Toronto Argonauts. They haven't missed a thing. Down in the grass from Mac Moore.
They're very pleased with Mac Moore. He's been playing some great football the last couple of ball games. Another good example right there of getting in there and putting the pressure on Conrad. He had no place to go.
They'll mark the loss at 3 yards. It'll be 2nd and 13 for the Argos. Back near their 37-yard line. Toronto scoring quickly on their opening drive. In fact, Conrad Holloway to Terry Greer setting up the touchdown, and Holloway took it in himself from 17 yards away. Holloway right on target. Terry Greer in front of Kerry Parker, number 17. And that Greer is something else, leading all CFL receivers.
The thing about Terry Greer that makes him so good is he's so effortless in his moves. And a lot of times he's underestimated because he is so effortless. There's some people that make those jerky moves and explosive moves that everybody thinks is doing a lot. He just comes off that line of scrimmage under control, and he's moving at about a 4 or 5 speed and catches the ball just effortlessly.
The Argos across into BC territory now. This is Cedric Minter. Inside the 50, Tyrone Cruz made the tackle. And that's quarter one. BC Place in Vancouver, the Argos in control of the BC Lions. Both teams with 6-2 records, a lot at stake here tonight. And there's lots more to come. We'll be right back.
Good protest a little bit.
Intentional grounding, Winnipeg number 10, 2nd down.
The executive producer of CFL is
43, BC 29, and that was in 1968.
Who was the coach then?
I was, number 1, the highest team score. October 10th, 1970, 50-7 we won it. The bad news is we came out here on the 23rd of August, 1977, and beat us 30-0.
That's Emmanuel Tolbert, the first down for the Toronto Argonauts. Holloway very confident from the outset tonight. He was hampered by injuries a couple of games ago. And a little bit of a rest has done him a world of good.
Well, they have a lot of confidence. I think that the big thing, Jan Carinci has fit into this offense so well since Gronk has been hurt. That was a big loss for them, but Carinci is doing an excellent job.
Argos at the BC 40. And Cedric Minter close to a 5-yard pickup. Rick Klassen, number 60, led the BC tacklers that time.
Well, one thing is for sure, when they keep Minter in that backfield and don't send him in motion before the ball is snapped, they better be looking at him because he's going to be carrying the football, and he was that time.
Talking to Bob Ofilovich yesterday, he says the communication between Terry Greer and Conrad Holloway, quarterback to wide receiver, is second to none that he's ever seen in two players. The way they communicate with each other. Holloway in trouble here. Over the middle, he intended that for Who did he intend it for?
There was no one there. That's got to be intentional grounding. There is a flag before that, I think, so I don't know. There was some holding on it, too.
Well, I looked up and couldn't find a white-shirted receiver.
Well, Clausen has given the signal to the sidelines over there that it's holding against the Argos, but that certainly looked like intentional grounding, too, because there was only 2 people in the vicinity of the football at the time, and both of those were Argonauts linemen. 66 Prunster and 69 or 44 Hamelin.
Bud Ulrich, referee tonight.
3, second down repeated.
John Malinowski. About that time, the rest of Ulrich's game staff. All right. It'll be second down and 16 to go for the Argos. They're back down at the BC 45-yard line. Having a great year. His first one in Canadian football. That's his 6th quarterback sack this season.
What Blair is doing is he's playing sometimes in the middle and sometimes on the outside. And I think he has the option that when that motion comes his direction to turn himself loose. You'll see him playing right opposite the right guard on this. He starts out to the left as the motion starts and then comes right through that hole. You see him right there, and then he makes the tackle. So he's got a key right there that when that motion starts in his direction, that he finds an opening and just shoots the gap on occasion.
Third down and a bunch for the Argos. Hank Delisic back near his 42-yard line. Good pressure on Delisic. Just one back for the BC Lions. It's Larry Crawford. And Crawford can move. He's to the 22-yard line. So the Lions hope to get something going. We'll return in just a moment for a BC first down. There's your score. Don Matthews, a worried look on his face, but the BC Lions have a first down at the 23-yard line. Roy DeWalt, time to throw. Shanny Green has the completion, but there is a flag down. Normally, the BC backfield.
Normally indicates holding. But John Blaine for the BC Lions is indicating that it's against the Argos. Might be unnecessary roughness on the quarterback.
That's the initial indication, Leo, at least from Bud Ulrich. Next Sunday, the Argonauts in Hamilton, and that's Hall of Fame weekend in the Steel City.
Holding. Decline.
All right, we'll get you caught up on the final score, Winnipeg and Montreal. Let's join Brian Williams.
John, just seconds to play in Winnipeg. It is Montreal 30, Winnipeg 18. Here's John Evans, Montreal touchdown. The Concord will defeat Winnipeg tonight in Winnipeg. Just a few seconds to play, and they lead by 12.
Offensive play of the night for the BC Lions.
Roy DeWalt starts to his left and gets the ball out there to Fernandez, makes a great move on Wilson, and then you get a block right there from Pankratz that got him a little seam in there. This guy doesn't need much room. Great play, got field position now.
A 26-yard gain. The BC Lions first down inside Argo territory for the first time this evening at the Toronto 50. DeWalt far side of the field. And has Chapdelaine. Short of the first down, but a substantial gain anyway. Jacques Chapdelaine, his 7th reception of the season.
He gets rid of the ball in a hurry here to Chapdelaine on the outside, and he didn't have much room there. Just got that foot down inside. But he got himself about 7 yards on the play.
Fernandez is out. Pankratz out as the Lions send in the big horses on second down and 3 to go. Larry Jones drops for the first down inside the Toronto 40. And Franklin King was there, number 61.
I'll tell you, John, he hadn't carried the ball very much tonight, but he's carried it enough to show me that he's a pretty good ball carrier. Larry Jones And the guy that's doing the job that usually John Henry White does is little Taylor. He was out there like a guard that time. Here he is, number 19, leading the play. Jones is a slasher. He hit in through there, and he's turned upfield with those shoulders. You see a nice little block there by Taylor. He's tougher than
DeWalt for Sammy Green. It bounced close.
first bounce, don't count.
Close. Donovan Rose covering on Green that time. But DeWalt one-hopped it to number 35.
Well, they're giving him plenty of time this time, and it's just that it's such a long throw over there to the sidelines, he just doesn't get it up. But Green did have the cushion there and could have had a first down on that play.
2nd and 10 Lions at the Argos 38.
The Argos coming with the blitz this time.
Intended it for Fernandez, but it was tipped down. Pressure from Steve Aykroyd and Don Bone, number 36. So here comes Lou Pasaglia once more. Pasaglia missed a long field goal try just a moment ago.
Well, they sent everything here but the kitchen sink. And a quarterback doesn't like to have all those different colored jerseys on top of him when he's trying to get rid of that football.
For Lou Pasaglia, a 45-yard field goal try. No mistake about that one. Fans away to about 50,000 fans at BC play. So the Lions come up a little short, but they'll settle for 3 at this stage. 9:54 to play till halftime. And there's your score. CompuStats as we have them at this stage. The Lions gaining a little bit on the Toronto Argonauts. The net for the Argos 125, for the BC Lions 74. Roy DeWalt engineering a pretty good march for BC that time, but had to settle for 3. Now, the Argos take over. First down, and that young man, Conrad Holloway, is at the control.
Well, they're taking a little bit more time now with the football on offense, which is a settling factor on them. Keeping that ball away from the Argonauts as long as possible until they get settled on is a good idea at this stage. It's been Argos all the way so far in this ball game, but it's only a 10-4 ball game right here, and you know how quickly this BC Lions team can score.
James Curry.
It was Curry, Clausen, and I think Matt Moore. All 3 of them were there.
Jackson was close to Leo.
There goes Curry right around the center there, and he makes the first contact, and Clausen comes from the outside. Curry from the University of Nevada at Reno.
Now the Lions have 7 deep backs in. Blaine Jackson comes out. Andre Jones is in. Pearson makes the catch, but I think it will go for nuts. The indication from Ray Brown.
That was just a great job by Conrad Holloway there of finding Paul Pearson in the middle and getting the ball to him on a strike. But there is holding indicated. And again, Curry was in there putting a lot of pressure on Holloway.
Holding, Toronto 44. Second down repeater.
Mike Hamlock got caught that time.
You're going to see Curry here. He's on Hamlock, and Hamlock said, boy, you got through there last time. I'm going to get you this time. So he got a hold of him. You can't do that. But Curry still got there in time to put some pressure on Conrad.
2nd and 25. Lion defense getting a great deal of credit right now.
And the Holloway
threw it into the dust.
And the tide is turning here, John. You can feel it. And the thing that's making it turn is the thing that I referred to before the football game, and that is that the difference between this BC team and teams of the past is that that defense is pretty sound, and they'll come back.
That young man on the far side of the field, Don Matthews, has done an outstanding job with this BC Lion team. They're playing with a great deal of confidence week in, week out. He says, I'm not worried about last week. That one's behind us, referring to the 49-19 loss to the Ottawa Rough Riders.
Well, when you get a head coach like Matthews that likes defense, and is defense-oriented, and have him left with a bunch of people that can play offensively, that's a pretty nice combination.
Larry Crawford, not much of a return, but look at the field position the Lions have regardless. And the offense can thank the defense for setting that up.
And you'll notice the BC Lions coming off that bench and hustling out on that field now. It's a new BC Lion football team. A couple of big plays can make a lot of difference with the adrenaline.
Look at that. Terry Greer with 62 receptions ahead of Brian Kelly. But we've got 3 of the top receivers, make that 4 of the top receivers in Canadian football on this field this evening. First down Lions at the Argo 51. Roy DeWalt unloading in a hurry. Fernandez, the first down, I do believe.
Boy, he almost got away there. Rose got enough of him to knock him off balance and knock him down, but he had one hand on the ground, and if he could have retained his balance with his kind of speed, he's down the sidelines. You see DeWalt right here, get it to him. Rose just gets enough on him there to knock him down. This guy is dangerous with a capital D, and that's a difficult catch right there, too.
An 11-yard pickup for Mervyn Fernandez. And a first down for the BC Lions. DeWalt trying to throw Pankratz. Another first down. He's out of bounds and forced out like Carl Brazeley. But the Lions now offensively on a roll inside the 25.
You see DeWalt start back here, rolling to his right, and just a saving block there by Roper. Roper is the guard that came back there and looked back and saw that penetration. Pankratz coming across indicates that he's got it there. Brazeley gets him out of bounds there. If he can make a turn, he might be in the end zone.
Now from the 24-yard line, BC first down. DeWalt will be under heavy pressure this time. Nowhere to go. Rick Moore once more.
Boy, if you can't get excited watching these two teams play, this is two fine-looking football teams that are really going after each other tonight. He's back there looking downfield, but watch that penetration by those white shirts. They're all over the place.
Good evening once again, everyone. I'm Brian Williams at CFL Control in Toronto. Before going to the Argonauts and the Lions, I have 2 very important baseball scores of great interest to you viewers in Montreal. The Expos have defeated the New York Mets tonight 10-9. Tim Wallach's 19th home run in the bottom of the 9th inning, winning that game for the Expos. And Philadelphia has just been defeated. They say that's a final now. The Pirates defeat Philadelphia 6-5. That means Montreal is back in first place in the National League Eastern Division. All right, let's get out west of Vancouver, the Argonauts and the BC Lions.
At BC Place, I'm John Wells with Leo Cahill. And a welcome to football fans now from coast to coast. We know you've enjoyed the Winnipeg-Montreal telecast. And this is the second half of our doubleheader. We've got a great game going here in Vancouver tonight. The Argos in the lead by 6. Lou Pasaglia. The Argo lead is now 10-7 on the BC Lions. And so far, it has been quite a night. 5 minutes and 49 seconds to play till halftime. The Argos opening rather quickly this evening. Conrad Holloway to Terry Greer on a 56-yard pass and run play. And then Holloway took it in the end zone for the game's only touchdown. It stands at 10-7 right now, and 50,000 plus are enjoying every moment of a great evening at BC Place.
They sure are, and it looks for all indications like there's 2 teams on that field tonight that are trying to prove who's best in Canada, and they're both going after each other. It's a great game for the spectators.
Conrad Holloway for Terry Greer, who's wide open. And Greer eluding a couple more BC tacklers as he carries it all the way to the 41-yard line of the Lions. Glenn Jackson finally making the stop. Greer has been a big story for the Argos all season, and once more tonight.
He's just so smooth. Goes down there and he just sneaks into those open spots. When he gets the football, look out. He can go the distance.
Mark that a 32-yard gain for Terry Greer, the leading receiver in Canadian football at this stage of this season. First down, Toronto. Holloway with time to throw, looking for the end zone. And a flag goes down. Nelson Martin was covering on Terry Greer. Kerry Parker talks it over with referee Bud Ulrich. It's not going to do any good.
Well, the fans don't like that one. It's one of those that he goes down there and it looks like the defensive man pushes him.
Illegal interference. BC 17. First down.
Kerry Parker.
One of the best man coverage guys on the football team. Normally doesn't have to do anything in order to cover, but apparently got his hands on somebody on that play.
The Argos are back quickly to the BC Lions 23-yard line. Toronto leading by 3. Holloway under pressure, looks to the end zone. Greer can't run underneath it. Holloway that time was at least 15 yards over Terry Greer's head. And look where Holloway ended up. Glenn Jackson, 37, forced him down.
Jackson's been a great one over the years. And he has carte blanche because he is such a good blitzer to come on occasion. He came from the backside that time, and that's the side that I indicate all the time that those quarterbacks hate to see that pressure coming from, because actually they don't see it coming.
I guess that makes sense. But sometimes I'm sure you can sense it as a quarterback. Look at those comparisons. Holloway, 152 yards. The wall 82.
You can't sense it, John. You just hear it. You just smell it coming, that's all.
Feel the hot breath in the back of your neck. On second down. Holloway once more to the end zone. And once more, he overthrows Terry Greer. Joe Heath, the former Argonaut. We mentioned him a couple of times earlier in the telecast. He is having quite a night.
Oh, JoJo's not given any quarter at all, and he said all week long, and it was in the newspapers out here, if the Argos want any success, stay away from my side.
So on third down, Hank Alisic gets the call for the Argos. Good on 1 of 1 tonight. This one should be a chip shot for Alisic from 30 yards away. It goes for a single point, however. And the Argonauts increase their lead to 11-7 on the BC Lions. Still, lots more action. Second quarter, BC play. I'm John Wells with Leo Cahill, hoping viewers right across Canada and on ESPN television network in the United States are enjoying this football game. There's lots more ahead. We have 3 minutes and 59 seconds to play until halftime. The counter stats to this stage show a decided advantage to the Toronto Argonauts in net offense, but only 4 points separating these two teams on the scoreboard. Roy DeWalt over the middle, John Pankratz. And Pankratz still going. He is a brilliant little football player at times. Don Moen over to make the tackle. Crazy George is on hand here at BC Place tonight, and he can get this place a jumping.
And the accordion is starting to move all the way around the ring of this stadium.
First down, BC Lions. Just inside Argo territory. DeWalt over the middle, same play, and it's picked off. William Mitchell, number 39, brought down by Sammy Green, 35. Costly for the BC Lions now.
That was a costly interception because BC had started to pick up momentum again. And what they have to do, the Argonauts are so aggressive, they're going to have to run some draws and some screens and throw quickly like they did to Pankratz on that pass down the middle. But there you see Mitchell picking off that interception. He knows what to do with it when he gets it, too. Runs pretty good for a linebacker.
The Linebackers Union will be after you for that comment. No question about it.
He's got some time to throw it. He delivers it quickly down the middle. He just had success with the same kind of a pass down the middle to Pankratz, but there was too many white shirts in there. William Mitchell picks it off, and Green rides him down. I love those offensive linemen and linebackers. That's the part of the football team I always liked. I was an offensive line coach. I always said that there's nothing dumber than a smart lineman.
Roy DeWalt on the far side of the field would like one pass back tonight, and that was the last one he threw. Right to William Mitchell, and that gives the Argos a first down at their own 49-yard line. A reminder, halftime tonight. We'll go back to Toronto for a summary of the national news and then get caught up on all the action in Canadian football this evening with Brian Williams in our CFL controls. So stay with us at halftime. We're about 3 minutes away. Holloway in some trouble. He escapes. Holloway lots for the first down inside the 35-yard line.
That may have been a pre-designed play. Holloway started, as he's done so often, with the motion going to the left that time, and the indication by BC and everybody else is that when he does that, that he's going to go out to the left. Well, all he did was step up there and go back to the right in that vacation between the defensive end and the defensive tackle on the backside, and got a good gain out of it.
First down for the Argos. Mark up 18 yards for Conridge Holloway. Cedric Minter, nowhere to go that time. He lost a couple. McMoore, 78, was right there.
Conridge goes over to his left, hands off. That hole was there momentarily, but he saw big 50 number Cruz, and he tried to bend it out to the outside, but there was too much penetration.
Well, they've evened up in that department. First downs at 7 each. The scoreboard reading 11 for the Argos and 7 for the Lions.
Now you're going to see, there they come on the blitz.
Holloway intended that one for Terry Greer. Terry Parker, 17, was right with Terry Greer that time.
Well, Conridge saw the blitz coming that time. Greer saw it coming too. He looked to the inside as he came off the line of scrimmage. And I think his key on that is just a break for the post when he sees that blitz coming, and that's exactly what he did, but the ball was thrown a little bit too high.
So it'll be third down. The Argos will kick it away. Lions with JoJo Heath back. And 28 is Larry Crawford to the left. Hank Lissing punting this time from his 51. The 12-yard line. So the Lions on first down will start deep in their own zone. Here with CFL football from CBC Television Sports. BC Lions are second down and 10 yards to go from their 12-yard line. 2 minutes, 3 seconds to play till the half. And Franklin King slightly shaken up for the Argos. Former Calgary Stampeder. King has really helped that Argonaut defensive front.
He sure has. They're very aggressive, that whole front four right now. They're manhandling a pretty good offensive line by the BC Lions. What BC has got to do, they're in poor field position now to try very much of anything, but they've got to try to throw short, run some screens and draws, and get the Argos off of them for a minute.
In relief of Franklin King, Steve Delcole, number 75. Second down, the wall, far side of the field. Hernandez couldn't come up with it. He left it in the air. And the Argos almost came up with an interception. Steve Aykroyd might think about that. There's Steve Delcole from the University of Simon Fraser, second year in the league. A big one at 6'5", 245.
They like him too. He's a fine-looking boy, and he's some of that great depth that the Argos have that can help them out when they do get some injuries.
Lou Pasaglia, impressive punting average on the night.
Those sounds that we hear are not booing, but these fans customarily calling Lou, Lou, Lou.
No wonder they're yelling for him. Another outstanding kick by Pasaglia. Dan Carinci to the 55 on the return, and he did well. Dave McNeil, another BC newcomer, leading the Lion tacklers that time.
I'm a little surprised they're keeping Carinci in there on that punt return team, because he's so important to that football team now that Bob Bronk is out of there. And, you know, he can get shot at in a lot of different directions when he's on that punt return team. And if he goes down, they may be in a lot of trouble.
Argos lead it 11-7, 1:45 to play till halftime. And this is a Toronto first down. Just inside their own zone at the 54 of Toronto. Quickly for Terry Greer. And close to 5 yards. Rick Klassen, number 60 for the Lions, led the tacklers.
Well, when they go with motion to one side, I'm talking about the Argonauts now, we're getting a lot of movement with that entire defensive secondary. We see Terry now trying to come up inside here, but the point I was making is that the defensive secondary are all getting over there on that motion side. And I wouldn't be surprised to see Conridge come back away from that motion, go one-on-one with one of those guys on man coverage, trying to catch it.
Sorry, Leo, already a great night for Terry Greer. 2nd and 5, he has the first down. Kerry Parker covering. Holloway right on the money for his favorite target, Terry Greer.
Holloway just comes back, and he knows that Parker's got Greer over there all by himself. Greer just makes a nice move to the outside, waits for the ball, and gets the first down.
Gain of 14 more yards. That gives Greer 128 on the night.
You better not jump that Greer too tight, because he'll go past you before a guy gets the news.
7 deep backs for the BC Lions facing 1st and 10. Holloway trying to find somebody in the open. Greer is the intended receiver. Touchdown! Terry Greer made it look so easy on that play in front of Nelson Martin and Kerry Parker. Terry Greer.
That's just exactly what I was talking about. While I was talking, he went down that sidelines. As you see, Donnie Matthews, the coach of the BC Lions, look away in disgust. But they're giving Conridge too much time here, and he just throws that ball up in the air and says, Terry, go get it. And there he goes.
5th touchdown catch this season for Greer.
And again, Greer does it so effortlessly. I mean, he goes down that field, and it looks like he's loafing, and he's covering about 2 of those white markers on every step.
Well, that's costly for the BC Lions. With 58 seconds to play till halftime. Angelis adds to the total. And the Argos once more into a commanding lead.
There's a couple things wrong with this play in terms of BC, and number 1 is you can't give Conridge, Holloway, or any other quarterback that much time, and number 2, you better zone in on this guy and make sure that he doesn't get behind you, because he'll just walk right past you, and it's too late. The ball's up in the air, and he's got it. Points are on the board.
Again, a reminder, at halftime, we'll go to Toronto for the national news with Peter Mansbridge, and then join Brian Williams for highlights and our CFL halftime show. So stay with us and be back for the second half. It's going to be an outstanding football game here in BC tonight. Larry Jones, Sammy Green drop deep for the BC Lions. Greer on the sidelines. Handshakes all around. Over the head of Sammy Green. He's going to try and get out of there. Green only to the 7-yard line. John Palazetti on special teams for the Argos, led the tacklers that time. So the score stands at 18-7 in favor of Toronto.
And I'm sure that the Toronto Argonauts, when he fumbled that ball, or went over his head there, I should say, in the end zone, they started thinking about a play earlier in the season when almost the same thing happened over in Hamilton, and he got the thing and got it right down there around the goal line and went all the way. So they're coming in there on balance. You see Del Call come in there, and they're making sure that they're going to get him penned up. This guy gets a little crack in there, it's all over.
Lions pinned deep in their own zone. Right away, big hole up the middle. He'll have the first down. A couple of extra yards to spare. Darrell Nicholson. Tripping up the Walt that time. Now 45 seconds to play till a half. John Pankratz, the intended receiver. Darrell Nicholson very nearly had an interception for the Argos.
And let me tell you one thing, if Nicholson caught that ball, it would have been all over because there was no one between he and the goal line.
One interception has already cost the Lions dearly tonight. William Mitchell picked it off, and the Lions went in to score from there, or the Argos rather.
And there is something smart and dumber than a dumb line, and that's a smart backfield man.
Intended for Donnie Taylor. And big pressure on Roy DeWalt that time by Earl Wilson and Rick Moore.
Matthew Teague was in there too. He's having a great game. Unlike Conridge Holloway, DeWalt doesn't have time to move around and get himself set. The pressure is on him, and you can't throw when you're off balance like that. And that's how you get the interceptions. On a play like that, sometimes it's better off just to take your licking and bring the ball down and get tackled than just to let it go.
On third down, Lou Pasaglia. Another pretty good kick away, and that's Carl Braisley for the Argos. Braisley has made his presence felt tonight. Mark DeBreeze, 3 for the Lions to make the tackle. DeBreeze out of Western Ontario. Was with the Edmonton Eskimos last season. Well, I wonder what Don Matthews will do at halftime. He said he made adjustments last week against the Ottawa Rough Riders, and none of them worked.
Well, they say that Matthews' big claim to fame in terms of his association with his players is that he never says anything negative about them to the press out here, and they certainly appreciate that. So he's kind of a low-key guy and very knowledgeable.
19 seconds till the half. Holloway intending it for Greer once more. It was into the dirt. Lions using 7 deep backs once more. Andre Jones is in. Glenn Jackson is out. Ralph Sazio, general manager of the Argos. He should be smiling, shouldn't he, Leo?
Ralph doesn't smile too often. He's like Norm Kimball. Speaking of Norm Kimball, they've got a coaching change out there. Good luck to Jackie Parker.
Cedric Minter. Yes, the Eskimos, the Hamilton Tiger Cats. Coaching debut of Jackie Parker, the head man of the Edmonton Eskimos. And that's tomorrow.
Just a simple handoff, and this guy can find some daylight. He bobs and weaves and knits and crochets his way through there, and one guy doesn't tackle him, knock him down. They've got a gang tackle that guy.
Another first down, but just 12 seconds remain for the Argos. And the Lions a little shaken by the last touchdown for the Toronto Argonauts, which puts Toronto into the lead 18-7. Talking about Jackie Parker and his debut as a coach with the Eskimos, a team that he started for many years ago. Jackie has ice water in his veins, doesn't he, Leo? He's sunk a lot of long putts in his day. And
Jackie Parker can do it all. If you want to play golf, if you want to play racquetball, if you want to play gin rummy, he can do it all. Norm Kimball said that Jackie Parker is one of the best friends he got.
I'm going to leave that one alone. And it's a first down for the Argonauts. Argos at the BC 52. Holloway out for Carinthi, and Carinthi heads to the sideline. 6 seconds on the clock. Now, Argos very close to field goal range.
Heads up by that rookie, too. Knew he had the first down and just headed over there to stop the clock. University of Maryland boy. There's Holloway, fumbles that handoff. Jumps up in the air. Watch that Curry come in there. He put some hurt on him there. Curry's been very active and certainly should get some consideration for the Carling O'Keefe game start.
Should be the last play of the opening half. Hank Olisic from 47 yards away. He hit one from about this distance earlier. And he missed another one off the post. Dead ball. Olisic shaking his head over that one. Something about that 47-yard line. Anyway, the Lions smiling at that miss because it's 18-7 now for the Argos. The Lions will go in and regroup and try and make the second half interesting. I think they'll do it because the Lions have an outstanding defensive team, and that is really what turned things around for BC in that first half.
I think it's a fair assumption that this game is not over yet.
All right, national news upcoming, and we'll be back to BC Place after that. Halftime continues from BC Place in Vancouver. I'm John Wells with Leo Cahill, and it was the Argos in the first half tonight. Terry Greer and Conrad Holloway, quite a show.
Well, it certainly didn't look like the Argos suffered from that 2 weeks layoff. They controlled that first half of football. I'll tell you, the Conrad Holloway looks like his old self, and it sure helps to be able to run with that football. He pulls the ball down here. Trefo makes a good block for him there. He's still looking downfield for someone to throw to, and then decides to look at that flag in the corner and start over there and try to get in. And you'll see Paul Pearson come along here and make a pretty good block, and he dives into the end zone there and gets in for the score and made it 7-0. He starts back again, looking downfield, and guess who he's looking for as he rolls out to his right. He just lets it go. And Terry Greer has that amazing ability to just run past people. He ran past Nelson Martin and Parker, got the ball. The half finished. It was 18-7.
All right, and that lead is not insurmountable. We'll be back with the second half in a moment. John Wells, Leo Cahill, BC Place in Vancouver, ready for the second half kickoff. Hank Olisic will kick it away for the Argos. Sammy Green, 35. Has problems once more. Green had problems with the kickoff at the end of the opening half. Now he's on his feet. An exciting runner, but the miscue was costly. Tony Lawson stopping Sammy Green at the 12-yard line. So the Lions are penned in deep to start the second half. CompuStats from the first 30 minutes of action. And the Argonauts lead in every category. First downs, total yards rushing, passing, net offense at 256 yards. That one turnover for the BC Lions, a very costly one. The Argos went in to score after the interception by William Mitchell.
The BC Lions, John, would really like to do something on this first sequence of plays.
A new quarterback, Leo. That's Joe Paupau. And that was a missed pass. Paupau not anywhere near his closest receiver. There's Paupau's season, 538 yards in total.
Well, that's a tough spot to be put into right starting this second half when they really have to do something in order to get that adrenaline flowing and get them pointed the right direction. Paupau coming in and getting the ball on about the 12-yard line. The first pass was in the dirt. Now he's got to do something.
Second and 10. Paupau has that one batted down. Franklin King, number 61, and Rick Moore. A lot of pressure on Joe Paupau. And the fans of BC Place are not happy.
Well, I think the fans wanted to see DeWalt back in there because I think they feel that if they're going to do anything in this third quarter, that they've got to do it with DeWalt. Paupau's going back, and you see King come in there and go up in the air high and get the hand on the ball, and sometimes those things are deflected right into the hands of the defense. Luckily for the BC Lions, it wasn't on that occasion.
Louis Pasaglia has been kicking a ton all night long. Another beauty, back for Braisley at the 42.
I'll tell you one thing, if the BC Lions get back in this ball game, they can thank Louis Pasaglia for his punting.
That time a 56-yard punt by Pasaglia.
You know, oftentimes those kickers don't get the credit that they deserve. And, you know, if he keeps kicking the way he is, John, we're going to have to give him some consideration for that Carling O'Keefe game star, too.
I think you're right. Conrad Holloway is having quite an evening. He likes indoor football in Vancouver.
Conrad likes to rise to the occasion.
He has done that this evening. Pressure on Holloway to the backside. Vancouver. Now, at one point in the first half, Leo, the BC Lion defense came up big and turned things around. This could be another turnaround for them.
Well, another indication coming from the backside. This time, Mac Moore and Conridge just at the last moment sees him and ducks down and protects himself a little bit, but Moore got some wood on him, and as I said before, those quarterbacks certainly don't like to get that backside pressure. But if you can get Conridge from the onside to pull the ball down and take some time and then rush from the offside, you can do him a lot of damage.
This is second and a long 17 for Holloway. More pressure. He's down once more. Rick Klassen. Two big defensive plays for the Lions. First Moore, now Klassen.
Well, they're getting some pretty good pressure from their four, but they've got a lot of people in that secondary, and they're clogging up every avenue of approach as far as those receivers are concerned, and Conridge has nowhere to throw the football, and the rush gets there.
Third down and 20 to go. Hank Olisic straps the helmet on once more. Just got it away. That's Larry Crawford. And Crawford retreats. He lost 7 yards. Steve Aykroyd. Bernie Gleer almost threw the block that one. The score, 18-7 in favor of the Argonauts. We'll be right back. Now back for a BC Lion first down. The Lions pinned in at their 19-yard line. The quarterback, Joe Paopao. And his passing game is on. Matthew Teague was through that time, number 79. Don Matthews told us yesterday, no problems interchanging quarterback Joe Paopao and Roy DeWalt. Well, Paopao has had his problems.
I tried to pin him down early in the season. He was alternating his quarterbacks, trying to get them both the ball game, and he indicated yesterday that he'd stay with the guy that was working. Apparently, he didn't think DeWalt was working.
Paopao, short of the first down by 5 at least. Darrell Nicholson pinning Paopao that time. And the natives a little restless in BC plays.
Well, the Argonauts are really prepared in this football game, offensively and defensively. And I think that 2 weeks that they had, they spent it studying this BC team pretty well, because their defense and offense is shutting down just about everything BC is trying to do.
Lou Pasaglia, an impressive average this evening, his longest 58 yards. Jan Carenzi and Carl Braisley deep for the Argos.
The Argos put the return on.
That's Carl Braisley. A return of maybe 7 brought down by Kevin Konar. And Holloway, last-minute instructions from Coach Bob Omilovich on the sidelines.
You know, there's one thing that you have to do in order to win a football game, John, and one thing convincingly is important, and that is that you minimize your errors. And to my knowledge, the Argonauts haven't made any mistakes this ball game. I don't think they've fumbled, or let's get to these statistics, then we'll get back to that.
Well, Warren Moon leading in that department of the Edmonton Eskimos. Conridge, Holloway not far behind. J.C. Watts is making an incredible season for himself with the Ottawa Roughriders. This is Cedric Minter on first down. Minter has a couple, no more. Bernie Gleer, number 7. For the Lions.
Getting back to what we were talking about, John, I don't think the Argonauts have made a mistake. They haven't thrown any interceptions. They certainly haven't fumbled the football. They've, you know, and as aggressive as they're playing, and as well as they're playing offensively and defensively, and without any mistakes, that's a pretty good combination.
And Holloway has come up with the big plays.
Holloway, when he's hot, boy, he is hot.
This is second and 7. Some pressure. Holloway, a big hit as he unloaded that one. That was James Curry, number 55, threw in Conridge Holloway, and he paid for that one.
The defense once again is rising up as far as BC is concerned. You see Conridge coming over here now, and he's looking, and then everybody is covered, and watch that Curry come in there and put it on him.
Curry underneath and McNeil on the top.
I guess it was McNeil that made the real hit. Curry made the tackle low, and McNeil finished it off. And Conridge very wisely threw that ball out of bounds.
Hank Olisic. He's been outkicked by Lou Pasaglia by a considerable margin tonight. so, and it's out of bounds. Mel Byrd had no play. Well, for the BC Lions next week, the Montreal Concorde in Montreal. And we'll be on hand for that game as part of a weekend doubleheader. Then it's on to Hamilton where the Argos play the Tiger Cats. It's Hall of Fame weekend in Steel City. Leo, the Lions have not had field position third quarter at all, have they?
Especially Joe Paupau coming in here cold the second half and expecting to get things going. He's been down in the shadow of his goal line.
Paupau had a man. Fernandez couldn't hang on. Leroy Paul supplying the coverage, number 4 for the Argos. That was as close as Paupau has been to a completion here in the third quarter.
Paupau's a leader, though. I can remember last year at one time when he had a knockdown shoulder and shouldn't even have been in the ball game, and DeWalt had a stub toe or something like that, and he just said, I'll play, and he got in there and played. He's a leader.
2nd and 10 facing Paupau and the Lions now. He tries the other side of the field. There's a flag down, but Pankratz should have the first down if it's not against the Lions. Referee tonight is Bud Ulrich.
Well, the heads are down on the BC Lions, and that's a pretty good indication that they've got the word that it's against them.
The Lions do not need a penalty. Back now to the 4-yard line. 2nd and 15. Paupau has not had much of a chance with field position.
Offensive pass interference, BC 24.
That's Mervin Fernandez. Tough situation for the Lions now. 2nd and 15. Paupau looking long for Sammy Green. Donovan Rose thought Green might have had it, and he tackled him. Green could not have made the reception.
Well, I don't think he could have reached it, but number 6 was taking no chances on that one right there. Donovan Rose just saw him streak past him and said, I can't afford to let him catch one out the open all by himself. I've seen what he's done all year long, so he tackled him. But that really improved the field position for the BC Lions, and now they can see their way clear.
The Lions have had to make some offensive adjustments in their backfield. Larry Jones is out. Ryan Potter is in. Potter, number 33. And that's Donnie Taylor, the ball carrier for BC that time. He has maybe 3 yards. William Mitchell on the stop. Lions came into the game without their best running back, John Henry White. Larry Jones was in his spot. Donnie Taylor, number 19, moved to Jones's spot. And now Jones is up.
Well, Hanasukas, the old football great from the olden days, the CFL, made a pretty good comparison. He said John Henry White being out of here was like Germany being out for Edmonton.
That's a first down, BC, and that's Sammy Green. Leroy Paul has Green. Green has been a pretty good story for the BC Lions so far this season. He tried out with 7 professional teams before landing his first full-time job.
Paupau looks to his right and then goes right back to his left and tries to get a one-on-one over there with Green. Green catches the ball. Wilson comes in late and kind of roughs him up a little bit. And Green indicated that he was dissatisfied. He's got to keep his poise now.
Big gain for the Lions. Green couldn't hang on, but Leroy Paul would have been gone if he could have squeezed it for the Argos.
He saw it coming, and actually Joe didn't have enough on that ball. He didn't direct it in there hard enough. He looks to his right and then goes right back to his left, but he didn't throw that ball with that much authority. And watch Leroy Paul. He almost took it clean, and if he did, there's nobody down the sidelines.
Was that tipped at the line of scrimmage, Leo?
It may have been, because it didn't look like it had too much on it.
2nd and 10 Lions now. Paupau with time, looking long the ball, far side, intercepted out of bounds. That's Donovan Rose. The intended receiver was Mervin Fernandez, and Paupau fired that one a long way.
I think the BC Lions are getting a little desperate throwing the ball that deep at this occasion. They stuck with those little short passes and showed the patience. I think they could move the football because they've got some receivers out there, Fernandez and that group, that have to get a lot of respect from that defensive secondary, and they can get a lot of first downs on those sideline breaks and those curl patterns.
18-7 is not an insurmountable lead.
At this stage of the ball game, it certainly isn't with that kind of a powerful machine that they have.
Saglia. Jan Carinci lets it bounce. And it's out at the 4. So now, let's see if the BC defense can hold, turn a big play, and get right back into this ball game. They trail by 11. And 7 minutes, 33 seconds remain in quarter number 3. In a great run in the National League Eastern Division. We'll follow that on CBC television. And look what's happening at BC Place. The fans are alive here tonight. And have forced Conrad Holloway to call off his play at the line of scrimmage.
Well, this is really distracting down there at that part of the field. And if the fans really do rally, Conrad's going to have an awful time getting those signals. He'll have to go back in the huddle and he'll have to say, now listen, we're going to go on the first sound. We're going to go on a count that everybody can realize, and we're just going to have to play it safe. The nice thing about the Argos at this stage, they're leading 18-7. They can run, but listen to that crowd react again.
It's Argo first down from the Toronto 4-yard line. It's up to the BC defense here. Greer, the intended receiver. Holloway was off the target.
And they run that Carinci to the outside, and he runs right at Parker and tries to get in Parker's way, and Greer comes in underneath, and if they can hit Greer in that seam coming from the outside in underneath, he can turn it up the field and go a long ways. Big stand there on Conrad Holloway. No interceptions. You mentioned it a moment ago, but this BC Lion defense leads the entire CFL in interceptions. Larry Crawford is number 1 with 9 all by himself. 2nd and 10, and Minter has a couple. James Curry was there. Don't you ever think that this hometown crowd don't mean a lot in a situation like this. That is very unnerving for the offensive team to be down there and not be able to hear the signals being called, especially in the shadow of their goal line. And now is where Olisic is going to have to earn his bread and butter, because he's kicking right out of the end zone. And the BC Lions have a real good chance now for field position and possibly to get back in this ball game.
Bird and Crawford are back to accept the punt from this man, Hank Olisic. He's been outkicked by Luke Pasaglia all night long. But Olisic has a very, very impressive average on the season, and if he sails one here, not a great one. Lion receivers move up. That's Crawford. Crawford, a bit of a break. Still going. Crawford to the 30-yard line. Look at the field position. A flag now goes down.
Boy, that was a late flag.
Crawford is still down. I see a good block by Mel Bird on the replay coming up. Crawford is now up and off the field. Bird is number 10.
It looks like they're going to walk it off against the Argos.
You've got to give the fans of the BC Lions a lot of credit for that field position.
We sure do. I don't know that it's a
major foul.
or not. I don't know you should do things like that. It's almost
number 35
like to do it.
First down.
But every hometown crowd exercises this prerogative. The Argo fans better remember this themselves.
A major foul tacked onto a short punt and a great return by Crawford. The Lions, first down. At the 15, another flag is down. That's Jones. He's back in the game. Jones, his score. Larry Jones. Now, that flag went down very early, Leo, so I would think the indication there would be against the Argos. Wait a minute.
Well, he started to give the indication against the Argonauts, and now he gave it against the BC Lions, and now he's giving it against the Argonauts. And the touchdown is going to stand.
No doubt about it. What a turnaround. Now, the Lions are still trailing in this football game.
touchdown.
The touchdown stand. You heard it from Bud Ulrich. Jones is wide open on this one.
Fantastic play, and they had the whole, looked like the whole offensive line out there in front of him, and that's the way it's drawn up on the board, and he just took it right into the end zone.
Casaglia adds to the BC Lion total. 52,656 on hand at BC Place. And lots more football action ahead for everyone.
Next Saturday, the BC Lions travel east to meet the Concorde at Montreal Stadium. Then Sunday, the Argonauts travel to Iberwin Stadium in Hamilton, trying to get revenge for an earlier loss this year. The game Saturday, 1:30. Also 1:30 for the game Sunday.
Larry Jones has a perfect night going for the BC Lions. One catch for 15 yards and one touchdown. He has the Lions within 4 points of the Argonauts. That's Carl Brazier on the kickoff. He bobbled it. He's motoring now. Lions special teams, good job, but a flag goes down. Ryan Potter led the tacklers. There's a flag down.
We're going to get a look at this touchdown. He stops back and he just gets the ball out to Jones there. You'll see a whole convoy in front of him. He just follows all those orange shirts and goes right into the end zone.
Untouched. Larry Jones. A flag down on the kickoff return, and it goes against the Argos once more. Toronto.
John, they're putting them down in the hole again.
Toronto 54.
Tony Antunovic got caught that time.
They're putting him down in the shadow of their goal line again, and if this crowd responds the same way, Conridge is under a great handicap to try to get a signal called.
You see that attendance there, Leo? BC Place.
Well, they're tasting blood, and they know what they're doing to this Conridge down here.
Conridge in trouble. Well short of the first down. Glenn Jackson there once more. BC Place has meant a great deal to the Lions this season. Attendance is up. Over 18,000 fans per game.
Well, I'm just getting a little sneak preview here, a little indication of why they're so difficult to beat at home. Well, I'll tell you what, as a quarterback and as an entire football team, that's unnerving. Third quarter has belonged to the BC Lions. There they go again. There's only one way to quiet them, and that's for Conridge to come with a big play.
Paul Pearson has a first down. That gets the Argos out of big trouble. JoJo Heath covering on Pearson. A flag is down, so is Holloway. And the indication is against the BC Lions for a rough play.
And that was a, you know, the guy that Conridge went to right there, Pearson, has made so many big plays in the course of the last couple of years. And add insult to injury on this play here after Conridge had thrown the ball. You'll see the official call it here. There was roughing on the passer. They came in late.
Major foul. Roughing the passer, number 37, BC.
That's Jackson coming in there late and roughing the passer. We'll see Jackson coming from the outside here. He shoves a couple of blockers there. And he comes in. Well, I don't know. It looked to me like it was all right.
The Argos, though, have a first down at their own 38-yard line. Holloway looking for Terry Greer down the right side. Greer, oh! Off his fingertips. Greer was in behind Terry Parker once more.
That was about as well thrown as you could throw it. That almost had radar on it. When he threw the ball, I didn't think there was any way that Terry Greer was going to get under it. He not only got under it, he got both hands on it.
Well, welcome to everyone who's with us tonight. We hope you're enjoying our doubleheader CFL football action. Montreal Concorde earlier this evening, and now the Lions and the Argonauts still in the struggle.
He got some hands on it there, and he beat Parker. And Parker must be a little shell-shocked at this time, too, because he's out there with Greer all by himself again.
2nd and 10. That's Cedric Minter, plenty for the first down. Minter has close to 20 yards. He might have tripped over that yard marker.
Well, there's only one way to quiet down a very noisy audience, and that's to come up with a couple big plays like this. Conrad just took that ball and went out to his right, and Minter sneaked in there behind the line of scrimmage.
They mark Minter for a gain of 19 on that.
And that's Mac Moore throwing about 255 or 60 pounds on top of Holloway.
Melvin Berg, 10, goes to the sidelines. Andre Jones, 32, comes in. Bird just needs equipment repair. There you see the Argonaut offense. Very sharp tonight. Holloway for Pearson. Can't catch up to it.
I'll tell you what Paul did there, and I love Paul Pearson, and I love the way he catches the ball, and I love the big plays he makes. But he made the unforgivable error that time of reaching before he got under the ball, and he slowed himself down, and had he ran under that ball, I think he could have got to it.
Holloway in the evening, 15 completions and 29 tries, 245 yards. Second down and 10, facing the Argos now. Inside BC territory, but touched at the 52. Holloway for Terry Greer. Greer, great speed. He's to the outside.
He's gone. He's gone, baby. He's gone all the way.
Touchdown. Terry Greer is second of the night. Mike Havelock, 44. And Dan Perron, 2 great blocks on the play. And that worked very effectively.
Well, I'll tell you, when we're talking about the after effects of this game, if the Argos do go on and win it, it'll have to be Conridge Holloway's generalship under very adverse conditions with all kind of crowd noise as you see him turn back and hit Terry Greer, and there goes Havelock to the outside there, and another good block thrown there, I think, by Ferrone. When you get that guy an opening and a seam, here it is again. Good catch by him right there. Havelock goes out, makes a block. It's difficult to see who made that great block right there. May have been Pearson even, but he goes right down the sidelines, just outruns everybody. He's looking back saying, you're never going to catch me, and they all know it.
A 52-yard touchdown for Terry Greer, his second on the evening. And look at the evening he's had. 217 yards.
Well, John, the mark of a great football team is a team that can meet adversity, you know, with a lead like they had, and then have things turn around, meet adversity, and come from the shadow of their goal line under adverse conditions of crowd noise and do what they've just done. That's the mark of a good football team.
Hank Kalisic hopes to add one more. Jan Carinci holding. Easily through. So the Toronto Argonauts move out in front of the BC Lions, 25-14.
Havelock is out there making a good block there and opening the seam. And there's Ferrone coming down, number 69, making the cruncher right there. And it opens that seam for Terry, and Terry just busted right down the sidelines for the score. 2 good blocks, Havelock and Ferrone.
The BC Lions have had to catch up all night long. Argos scored on their first offensive drive. Now the Lions have 3 deep backs, Jones, Green, and Crawford, to accept the kickoff from Hank Kalisic.
Oh, I like this game. These 2 good football teams going after each other like there's no tomorrow, and they're both trying to prove who's number 1 in Canada.
Coming into the game, both teams at 6-2. Kalisic really booms this one. Green back deep in the end zone, and it's off the post.
Well, that Olisic is having some problem hitting the post tonight.
He missed a field goal that way.
Well, would you see the strength of that kid's leg? He just goes up there and just attacks that ball.
And the Lions will have a first down at the 25.
He puts a toe to it. There it goes down and hits the post.
Cuts down on the run back.
Well, I'll tell you the odds on that. I wonder what Vegas would give you on odds.
Terry Greer. Look at his dominance in Canadian football among the top receivers this year. Donnie Taylor to the line of scrimmage and no more. Brazeley was over there. Bob Obilovich. You talked about him being relaxed. We chatted yesterday. He certainly was. Had lots of time to sit around and talk about CFL past and present.
OB must have known something. Must have had a little bit of a transmission with the Almighty.
Second down and 8 to go for the Lions. Powell remains the quarterback and tipped as he tries to release. Rick Moore, 76, was through once more. And Lion fans a little disenchanted with Powell once more, even though he did lead them to that touchdown.
Powell looks like he's got a lot of time, but he draws it back too far. And look at 76. Moore come in there, and on the follow-through of the pass, Moore got a hold of that throwing arm. The ball went up in the air.
So the pressure to Luke Bisaglia. The Lions once more. Stands it as well. Moore was almost going to block that one. This is James Corinthian. Good return. Good return for Corinthian. Bisaglia a little shorter that time for a 38-yard punt.
Jan Carinci has done a great job. Everybody knew how much they were going to miss that blocking of Bob Brock, but a lot of people don't understand that Carinci is a pretty good blocker in his own right. He was a wide receiver in a slot back down at the University of Maryland, and he was known for coming back on those crackback blocks and doing some damage.
Argos have a first down at the BC Lion 50. Lion defense has come up with big plays all night. They forced Holloway to unload that one early. 3 or 4 Lions all around Conridge that time, and the leader there was Rick Klassen. Joe Powell wondering what he can do to get the Lions back into this. They trail 25-14. Don Matthews in the sidelines. At one stage of the season, he had the Lions with 5 straight wins after an opening season loss, 17-14 to the Argos in Toronto. Second and 10. Holloway away from the pressure. No.
The BC Lions have the ball.
Who's got the ball?
The BC Lions have the ball.
Defense for the BC Lions, a big story all night long.
Conridge never saw him coming from the back, and he just knocked the ball loose and recovered it himself.
He actually took it out of Conridge's hand.
He just pulled his arms wide open and then grabbed the ball.
Now, the fans alive once more at BC Place. Let me tell you, this is a great place to watch a football game. That's Larry Jones. Good maneuver by Jones to gain 5 yards because he was stopped at one stage, or at least penned in.
Boy, that ball was thrown in danger out there, too. There was a lot of white shirts in that vicinity.
Second down and 7 to go. They mark the ball at the BC 50. Joe Powell has a man open. That's Jones once more. Now he's stopped just short of the first down by Darrell Nicholson.
Well, they're going to go for it. You can bet on that because there's only about maybe a foot to go for a first down here. I can't help but think, John, in a football game like this, that a running game is important. The Argos are just pinning their ears back and flying in there to try to get after that passer, and they're setting themselves up for traps, draws, and everything else. If you haven't got a running game to compensate for that, you can be in trouble.
Well, the fleet-footed ones will head to the sidelines, and the big horses are in for the Lions on short yardage situation here. the Lions.
Only one play in the book right here, and that's the quarterback sneak.
Just 17 seconds to play till three-quarter time. The Argos in front, 25-14. Big offensive series or play right here for the Lions.
He got it.
No doubt about it. No flags are down.
Can't take a chance on an exchange of the ball from person to person on a short yardage play like that. You lessen your percentages. Take the direct snap and follow those big horses with that foot. And that's what they did.
Don Matthews in his first full season as a head coach in Canadian football. And he's made a difference to these BC Lions. There's no question about that. So the fans, 52,000 strong tonight. Should be the final play, third quarter. Pow. The intended receiver was John Pankratz. Pow went down. Pass slightly high. Carl Brazley covered on Pankratz that time. So it'll be 2nd and 10 for the Lions when the fourth quarter begins in just a moment from now. Here with CFL football from CBC Television Sports.
Sunday, October 2nd. It's the Miller Highlight Toronto Marathon. Be part of the action. Witness a field of world-class runners as they push to the limit for $150,000 in prize money. Feel the anticipation right from the start at Queen's Park through to the thrill of victory at Varsity Stadium. Sunday, October 2nd. The Miller Highlight Toronto Marathon. Be there.
Oh, there's nothing like an early morning shower. It leaves everything so clean and fresh. Just like a shower with my Irish Spring, with springtime freshness in every bar. In these green and white strips are 2 deodorants to leave you feeling clean and fresh a long, long time. Irish Spring. Now that's my kind of soap.
And we like it too.
Irish Spring leaves you feeling clean and fresh a long, long time.
Under the dome at BC Place. I'm John Wells with Leo Cahill. It's been a great evening of football so far, and we've got 1 quarter to go. The Argonauts out in front in just about every department, but the BC Lions won't lie down. For the Lions, it's 2nd down and 10 to go, just inside Toronto territory at the 53. Joe Pow. Time to throw. Dropped it. He'll think about that one.
Oh, that was a big pass to drop right there for Mervin, and he doesn't drop very many of them. That was critical.
Pow was on the money, and Fernandez simply couldn't squeeze it. It would have meant a first down.
He just goes back, and you'll see Fernandez come across, and there was no reason. I think he took his eye off the ball at the last moment, thinking about where he was going to turn upfield and try to get more yardage instead of being sure that he had that first down and catching it.
Lucas Anglia near his 45-yard line. Johnny Taylor takes the direct snap. Taylor has the first down.
I don't know whether he does or not. It's going to be close.
I think he does, Leo.
Going to be awful close.
Darrell Wilson, 3rd down gamble for the BC Lions, and I think Taylor has the first down.
I'm going to bet that he doesn't, John.
We got a nickel riding on this one.
That was a great gamble for them to take, and if they make it, it'll be a sensational play, but it looks almost short, and we'll see right here.
Rick Moore had a chance to stop Taylor. You win, but not by very much, Leo. The Lions lose that one.
The direct snap to Taylor, and he bumped into somebody that impeded his progress and slowed him down a little bit, and then when he did get going, he was just about a half a foot short.
So the gamble fails for the BC Lions. Gutsy call.
Yeah, I like to see that. I like to see somebody go after it. Their defense is still playing pretty well.
Holloway quickly for Townsend. Townsend shakes one blocker, got away from Glenn Jackson. Jackson had him cold and let him slip through.
Mac Moore had a hold of him, too.
They mark it a gain of 5.
Pretty good move for Townsend.
Second and 5, Argo. Holloway looks long. 2 receivers upfield, Minter and Greer. He put it between them.
I'll tell you, Jeff Townsend doesn't look out of place out there at that wide receiver. A Canadian boy that had his training at Boston College. He makes some pretty good moves after he catches that football.
Third and 5. Hank Olitzik. And he needs a big kick. Olitzik at his 34.
Turn is on.
Olitzik puts it out of bounds. Not quite as deeply as he wanted to, however. So the Lions will have reasonable field position when we return to their first down. They trail 25-14.
Still a lot of time. 12 minutes and 47 seconds left. The crowd still feeling that their BC Lions can come back.
The BC Lions are the story right at this moment. From the 31-yard line, the Lions are first down.
I'll tell you, the crowd's not doing the BC Lions any favors here by making all that noise.
Foul over the middle. Taylor has it, but he has no yardage, or at least no substantial yardage. Don Moen making the tackle.
Don Moen had him all the way. Watched him come out of the backfield and got right on top of him when he caught the ball. Was right there to make the tackle.
They mark it as a gain of 1, Leo. 2nd and 9. Foul. Good on 5 of 14 for 34 yards. Batted down. And that's about the 3rd pass that's been batted down at the line of scrimmage. At least the 2nd of the night for Franklin King. So the Argo defense takes its turn in the spotlight. Big series of plays, and King has had an outstanding night.
There goes the Argos with the pressure right there, and you see King, 61, just sticking his hand up there. When that quarterback goes back to throw that ball, especially from tackle to tackle, they've got to open up those lanes for him so he can see down the field at the last minute. King just jumped up in the air and put a hand on it.
Masaglia for Carinci. At the 40, flag. Kevin Konar made the tackle. Now that would indicate, where that flag fell, that it is against the Argonauts. 25-14 for the Argos, leading the BC Lions. 11:39 to play. 4th quarter. The Lions will certainly take this penalty.
Coach Bob Paulsick, the offensive line coach for the Argos, not too happy about Elser on that play. Went halfway out on the field to tell him, what are you doing at this stage of the game?
35, first down.
It was Gordon Elser, as you said.
There you see 35 making the clip at the top of the screen there. Haven't made too many mistakes. That was a mistake.
Holloway for Terry Greer. He has the football. Was he in bounds? Yes, they say Greer was in.
Well, he had to be in bounds because he was right in front of that BC bench right there with all the players there, and there's not too much protestation. Terry goes right down the sidelines, and Conrad just throws it right over the top of the coverage, and you'll see that right foot come down.
Parker doing a pretty good job of covering Greer on that play. And he still made the catch.
Now, the thing about Greer, if it's even, and you're on him one-on-one, he'll jump up and take it away from you because he's got great springing ability.
A 22-yard gain. Holloway well back. And nowhere that time for Emmanuel Tolbert. James Curry had Tolbert. Bernie Glier was also there. That's Tolbert's first catch of the night. And he lost 2 yards. Ralph is still not smiling. We speak of Ralph Sazio, general manager of the Argonauts.
Ralph's not going to smile until he knows that game is over and the Argonauts have won the football game. 10:30 left in this ball game right now. The BC Lions need desperately to get it back. Pressure on Holloway from Matt Moore. Holloway got it away somehow.
Almost intercepted by JoJo Heath. Holloway might well have held on to that football, Leo. Threw into a bunch of traffic.
That was not very good judgment by Holloway as he goes back here. He's got plenty of time to throw the ball initially, but Mac Moore comes from the outside there and he steps up inside away from danger and then throws it over there, and I think he may have wished he held that ball and not thrown that one. JoJo Heath would have loved to have picked that one off and ran it back against his old teammates.
JoJo has been waiting to play the Argos since July the 14th. And that was the time that the Argos beat the Lions by 3.
I'll tell you, the way the Argos are playing tonight, I don't know why anybody would want to play against them.
Well, as a former Argo, JoJo is taking a little extra pride in that one. Crawford with no room. Steve Ackroyd led the downfield tackling for the Argos. 9 minutes and 49 seconds left to go. The Argos in front 25-14. And you're with CFL football, CBC. We thank BC football fans for that little message. And yes, we do feel quite at home under the dome. This is a magnificent football facility. And I think it's going to be great for Grey Cup 1983. Roy DeWalt is back in at quarterback. First down, Lions, near their own 20-yard line. DeWalt missed the third quarter. He's back for the fourth and has the first down on his very first pass. Complete to Sammy Green. And that, a very big play for the Lions offensively. They trail by 11.
I think this is a good move by Donnie Matthews, getting DeWalt in. He's so mobile right now, and that Argo defensive line may be getting a little tired. But he maneuvered himself on a rollout there, stopped Green on the sidelines, and got the completion.
First down, Lions now near the 40-yard line at the 37. This is Larry Jones, and Jones, good move to get through. He has the first down. Jones spinning that time. He was off balance by the time Matthew Teague caught up to him. And Don Matthews on the sidelines is helping the officials along to move those yardsticks.
DeWalt started a rollout. You'll see this time to his right and just handed back on a misdirection play. And the tackle pulled. You see Big Blaine pull out there and make a block, and Jones just stumbles for the first down.
Some pressure for DeWalt now from Rick Moore. DeWalt scampers for close to 5 yards. He's out at the 54. 8:21 to play, fourth quarter from BC Place. The Argos 25, the Lions 14.
This program is copyrighted and strictly for the private use of our audience. Any reproduction, retransmission, or exhibition in whole or in part without the express written consent of the Canadian Broadcasting Corporation is strictly prohibited.
Well, then, Leo, this is 2nd and 6 facing DeWalt now. The far side, Chapman. He has the first down by 6 yards. Leroy Paul was covering on Chapman. Maybe the biggest catch of that young man's career.
He caught the ball and got out of bounds, and it's important now to save that clock as much as possible. 7:58, 2 seconds short of
8 minutes.
8 minutes, and the clock is moving again.
Lions first down at the Argo 44.
A bootleg action right there, and he looks downfield, gets it in there, this time to Fernandez.
And Fernandez is still going. No, they ruled him out of bounds, I guess, or stopped. You know, Don Matthews takes Pow out. DeWalt watches from the sidelines. DeWalt comes back with a hot hand. You see it here.
And you see that bootleg action that DeWalt does so good. He fakes the running play to the right, comes back to the left on the bootleg, and watch the moves here made by Fernandez. And Fernandez has got one thing in mind, making up for dropping that pass earlier in this quarter.
A 22-yard pickup, and that's where the Lions are at the Argo 22 with a first down. DeWalt takes it himself. Still going. DeWalt down to the 10. He'll have a first down. Don Moen, 36, and Steve Aykroyd, 26. Finally put the stop on Roy DeWalt.
Bob Obilovich, the Argo coaches, thought that the ball came loose before he went down, but watch him dangle here, go in there and follow some blocking, and then break away from a couple tacklers. And now we'll see if the ball comes. No, he was down before that ball came loose. It was a good call by the officials.
At the 10-yard line, the Lions are first down and goal to go. They trail by 11. To the end zone, Fernandez, the intended receiver. Paul was covering. Fernandez almost made a miracle catch.
Boy, that's that pass that they like to throw when they get down in there inside the 15-yard line. Just lay it up in the air and let that speed run under it, and that's what he did on that one right there. He goes down and he turns to the outside. He knows that ball's coming, and he turns on the Jets right there, and I can't see whether he got one hand on it. Paul may have touched it. I'm not sure. If they score right here, we can have another one like last night.
Wasn't that a minute?
Saskatchewan Roughriders came through with a fantastic win, and just a heartbreaker for George Brancato and the Ottawa Roughriders.
Joe Galata winner tonight over Winnipeg. They're short of the goal line and a flag down.
And it's holding against the BC Lions.
I think it's going to be holding, Leo, against the Lions.
They may not take this penalty. They may decide that they want that down a lot worse. No, I see Obilovich down on the sideline says take the penalty. Not sure about that.
So that'll make it second and goal to go from the 20.
Holding, BC 51, second down repeated.
They would have had third down on the 5-yard line, still 5 yards to go.
Well, another big play facing the Lion offense. Second and goal to go from the 20. DeWalt standing in there and firing it well away from any intended receiver as he went down in the grasp of Don Moen that time. Quarterbacks have had a tough night. Conrad has been down several times and hit heavily. So has Roy DeWalt.
Well, it's another bootleg action here. DeWalt stops up in a hurry because of the penetration. There's just no way that he could get the ball off. There was too many white shirts there, and there was good coverage down the field. It was lucky he wasn't intercepted.
Don Matthews is going for it.
I wonder about this. Now, a field goal would make it 25-17, where a two-point conversion could tie the ball game. This is a big gamble, I think, on Donnie's part.
Third and goal to go from the 20. He has the completion. Sammy Green can't get to the end zone. Green comes up 12 yards short.
I'll have to question that one.
Heartbreak for the BC Lions, who get close but can't come up with a score. They turn it over. We'll be back for the Argo first down right after this. A reminder next weekend, 2 games from CBC Television Sports. The Lions at Montreal on Saturday night. Then on Sunday, we move to Hamilton, Hall of Fame weekend. The Argos and the Hamilton Tiger Cats at Iverwin Stadium. And going into the Hall of Fame this time around, Earl Lunsford, Bud Grants, Frank Morris, and Herb Grant. 5 minutes even left in the fourth quarter. First down, Argos. Cedric Minter, flag is down.
Well, there's all kind of flags down. You know, it's easy to sit up here. Wait, we'll get a call here by the officials. But there's about 3 flags thrown there, so it could be one of 2 or 3 things.
Referee tonight is Bud Ulrich. And he's seen a lot of action. He's had a lot of airtime.
Offside, number 30, Toronto, decline, second down.
The Argos were offside, but BC declined, making it 2nd and 10. Getting back to that 3rd and 20. Now, if they would have got that 3 points, it's easy to sit up here and second guess, but if they got that 3 points, it would be within a 2-point conversion of a tie, and this way they got nothing out of it. You gotta wonder whether they made the right decision there.
Well, when it doesn't work, it likely wasn't the right decision. Cedric Minter will not have enough for the first down.
Well, when you get down in that part of the field, John, and you only got 10 yards to go or less than 10 yards to go, you might take a chance on 3rd down. But when you've got 20 yards to go down there, and you've got a chance in close enough to get 3 sure points for a field goal that will put you within an 8-point conversion, or I mean, an 8-point touchdown of a tie, you got to take that, I would think.
Well, the Lions definitely need touchdowns to get back into this game, but even if you got down there twice, came away with 2 field goals, you've still got a chance.
That's right.
For a touchdown, because there's lots of time remaining. 4:25 on the clock as of this moment.
Well, they're going to have to do something immediately if they're going to get back in this ball game.
Angelisic deep in his own zone.
They're coming after this one.
Clausen, who almost through.
You know, I don't understand. Clausen twice now has been very, very close to blocking a punt. As you see Crawford return that. But they had speed on the outside earlier in the ball game on that, trying to block that kick, and they took it off and put Clausen there. And I'm not saying Clausen is slow, but they've got a lot of people on that football team that are faster than him, and he's come within just a hairbreadth of blocking it. So they should have had somebody faster out there.
Score clock reads 4:02 here at BC Place. And it's running down on Roy DeWalt with the BC line offense. Now the pressure comes for DeWalt. He's away from it initially. Fernandez makes the catch and gets the first down, or very close to it. Carl Brazeley, good effort by Fernandez after the catch, because Brazeley was right with him.
Good effort by Fernandez and a good heads-up job by DeWalt. DeWalt's got a lot of pressure on him here as he looks back to the left looking for an individual shot. There's nobody there. And look at those 3 white shirts bearing down on him. And he throws it on the run and gets it to Fernandez, who makes a nice move here and good enough on Brazeley to get the first down.
DeWalt tries the far side for Chapdelaine. Covering on the play, Leroy Paul. 3:24 on the clock now. The Argos in control of an 11-point lead. And, of course, we're in the fourth quarter. Next weekend, the Argos in Hamilton, and the Lions are in Montreal. Big win for the Concord tonight over the Blue Bombers. Joe Gallant will be smiling finally. It's been a long time between wins for him.
They can be tough by season's end.
Flag is down, and so is Roy DeWalt. Just about everyone was in on that tackle. So there's a timeout on the field. 3 minutes remain from BC Place in Vancouver. CFL football from CBC Television Sports continues. Earl Wilson heads to the sidelines. It's been a long night in the trenches. This has been a hard-hitting football game from the very outset. Lou Pasaglia hesitates and then kicks it away on 3rd down. This is Carl Brazeley. Brazeley to to the 25 and no more.
Gracely's done a good job for the Argos tonight, going in there for the first time. Got good, sure hands on those punt returns and has played a good game defensively.
We remember Carl, of course, from his years as an Ottawa Rough Rider. And he's back from the NFL. Happy to be here.
Well, OB was over there working with the defense at Ottawa, and he must know him pretty well, so he decided he'd bring him back. He has a lot of confidence in him.
2 minutes, 50 seconds remaining. Lions defense has the pressure now. The Argos intend to run it out. Cedric Minter to the 30 and across, met by Tyrone Cruz. Last time these two teams met, Minter had a whale of a ball game, over 100 yards. He hasn't been that evident tonight.
Well, last time they played, the BC Lions extended their ends on a containing position way outside, and they opened up the inside, and Cedric made a lot of yardage on delayed draws right off tackle and gaping holes. But I think that they anticipated that maybe Argos would try that again, so they closed it down a little bit tonight.
It's 2nd and 5, and Minter once more. This time the Lions are there and stop them short of the first down. A gain of maybe 2. Mac Moore, number 78, to make the tackle for the Lions. So the defense holds the Argos once more, but time is very short for the BC Lions.
Well, I'm surprised that the Lions don't go for it again this time and try to block it, but they have Clausen here on the outside again, and he has come within a half a hand of blocking the last 2 punts, and I just wonder why they don't get one of those defensive backs or one of those offensive people that's got a lot of speed on the outside where he is and let him go after it.
Hank Alisic at his 20. High snap, and the Lions almost through once more, but Alisic gets this one out of bounds near the 48-yard line. Mark DeVries was through and close to Hank Alisic and blocking that punt. That's Dan Barone shaken up at center field now. Now he's off the turf under his own power.
He's been a good football player for them. Another Simon Fraser boy.
An interesting look at the Western standings. If the Lions don't pull this one off, the Calgary Stampeders at a 5-3 record would be taking a pretty good shot at first place next weekend when they play the Blue Bombers. This is Larry Jones of Jones. Maybe 7 yards that time.
Well, I don't know what they're yelling from the sidelines over there for the offense. You see Perone there resting on the sidelines. Looks like he's got a little, maybe a Charlie horse or something. He's earned his dues tonight. But I don't know why they're running the football with only 2 minutes, 1:52 and counting. They should be throwing that football if they want to get back in this game.
Tipped again to the line of scrimmage and picked off. This is Donovan Rose, and he's gone. The Toronto Argonauts have had great pressure on the BC quarterbacks tonight, but they have tipped a lot of footballs at the line of scrimmage. Franklin King tipped 2 earlier in the game, and I don't know who got that one. I know that Donovan Rose got the touchdown.
That's what you call a tip drill right there. They spend a lot of time in practice going to the football on the tips. They work hours and hours on it. He looks to his left and then comes back to his right, and again the ball is tipped by a defensive lineman, and Donovan Rose very alertly catches the ball in full stride. He knows, and everybody else knows at that stage, that no one's going to catch him. And this ball game is history.
And there's still 1:37 on the clock to play out, but the Lions will not be able to overcome this.
Oh, yeah.
31-14. Hank Alisic makes it 32. Well, I think we were all anticipating a little closer struggle tonight. The Lions got behind in the opening quarter, got close, got behind again, and they've been playing catch-up since the very beginning. 1:37 on the clock, and the Argos have all but wrapped this one up. Toronto's record would jump to 7-2, and that would be a rather healthy margin in the Eastern Division standings. Good for 14 points and a 6-point lead on the Hamilton Tiger Cats. Tomorrow, the Tiger Cats in Edmonton to meet the Eskimos in the final game of Week 10 in Canadian football, and that will be the coaching debut of Jackie Parker as the head man with the Edmonton Eskimos. Parker, of course, had coached with these BC Lions some years ago, so it's not his first time around as a head coach of Canadian football.
I did a little thing on the radio back in Toronto about Jackie Parker for CFGM radio and got a lot of calls from the people back in Toronto that remember Jackie Parker.
Everybody remembers Jackie Parker. And CFGM radio. Sammy Green. Green, a good head of steam to the outside. Donovan Rose really made the play on Green that time. He's to the 40-yard line.
Now, when people see the score, John, it's 32-14, they're going to think that the Toronto Argonauts just completely overpowered them. Here's Green on the return.
Good for 36, Leo.
The great speed comes to the outside. But the 34-14 is a little deceiving with that Donovan Rose interception for that last touchdown. A 9-point spread would have been a lot fairer because both teams played real hard. The Argos had a great night.
Flags are down as Roy DeWalt looks long for Sammy Green. Donovan Rose was right there.
I think Sammy Green was about 2 steps down the field before the ball was snapped.
They caught him for head starting that time, did they?
I think he was...
Well, next week in Canadian football on Friday night, Winnipeg at Calgary. Saturday, BC at Montreal. That game on CBC television. Sunday, Toronto and Hamilton on CBC.
Decline, second down.
And the final game of the weekend is Edmonton at Saskatchewan.
Well, there's a disappointed bunch of fans in BC tonight because this game was heralded as the game that was going to indicate the best team in Canada at this juncture of the season. It looks like the Argos.
Well, based on a record, there's no disputing that. The Argos moving to 7-2 as they play out the clock here and count up this victory. Pankratz, the intended receiver.
Well, again, we got to refer to and reflect back on, I think the biggest drive of the whole game was when the Argos were down there with the blaze at their backsides, and the crowd was on fire with all that noise, and Conrad just took them and marched the length of the field and got that touchdown. That was the turning point right there. Because it could have gone in BC's favor if the Argos would have had a faint heart at that time, but they showed the class that they have by taking the ball all the way down the field.
This is 3rd and 10, Leo. The Lions are going for it.
Well, they might as well now.
Franklin King is through once more. King has had an exceptional evening for the Toronto Argonauts. No question about that. The Argos can add points to their total now with 1:13 on the clock.
I'm a little surprised they're letting Conridge back in the ball game. As you see DeWalt going back here and taking a look downfield, there's just no place to throw the ball, and Franklin King is blocked, turns sideways, and just staggers into him for the sack.
Well, I'm sure there'll be talk here on the West Coast, Leo, about the BC Lions and the history they have of quick starts in Canadian football. They've lost 2 games in a row now. They didn't play all that well against Montreal 2 weeks ago until late in the second half. Morency straight through. Ball popped loose, and Paul Pearson came up to it, or up with it rather, but it had been whistled out.
Get Holloway out of that football game. Somebody could just at the last part of the ball game, and when he relaxes a little bit, blindside him. The game is over. Get him out of there.
On the clock, unofficially anyway, 1 minute remains.
Hi, Sal.
Our Carling O'Keefe Game Stars tonight. Little question that Terry Greer offensively had an outstanding evening. And defensively, well, we chose Franklin King. And nobody's arguing.
Well, he just had another sensational night.
Cedric Minter wrestled down by Nelson Martin. And that leaves 40 seconds on the clock. Terry Greer, incredible stats coming into this game, and his totals even more incredible as he leaves. Greer had 1,080 yards coming in. He has at least 200 tonight. And the all-time CFL mark is 1,914 passing yards in a season held by Hal Patterson way back in 1956. Franklin King, former Calgary Stampeder, has definitely found a home with the Toronto Argonauts. Defensive star for Carling O'Keefe tonight. Third down and 6 to go. Hank Olisic will try a field goal from 34 yards away.
There's no more pleasant 30 seconds in a coach's lifetime than this 30 seconds when he knows that he's won the football game and they can't take it away from him. Bob O'Billovich stands on the sideline.
Olisic missed that one, and Crawford has it out to the 12. That leaves 8 seconds on the clock. Hank Olisic has not been on the mark tonight.
Sure hasn't. He's got the distance, but he doesn't have the direction.
So we're down to the last play of the football game. Don Matthews in frustration on the far side of the field. We talked about the job he's done with the BC Lions, including 5 straight wins at one stage of this season. The Lion record now drops to 6-3 for 12 points, and that's just 2 ahead of Winnipeg and Calgary, who share second spot in the Western Division. Stampeders have played 1 less game.
Winnipeg losing tonight doesn't help their cause. It's a big win for the Concord. They're over in Montreal.
This is Larry Jones. And that won't quite do it. There's still 3 seconds on the clock, at least unofficially. Time for one more play at beautiful BC Place. A little emptier than it was 15 minutes ago. And a great degree of quieter.
The Argos are going to be pretty tough to beat over East. They've got balance, they've got depth.
They also have a 6-point lead in the Eastern Division standings as a result of this victory. A man most responsible for it is Conridge Holloway, and there's his partner Terry Greer. In tandem, they were very, very close to brilliant tonight.
And an excellent job. Just can't say enough about the job that coaching staff did in preparation for this game, offensively and defensively.
One more reminder where the Lions will be next weekend at Montreal on Saturday night. CBC Television will be there for that one. To complete the weekend, we'll be at the Hall of Fame game, Toronto and Hamilton, Sunday afternoon, as Hall of Fame inductees are honored on Saturday night. And then the Argos and the Tiger Cats, second matchup of the season. That should be a pretty good game. The Tiger Cats won the first game with the Argonauts this year. Larry Jones. And that should wrap it up. Bob O'Billovich has another victory to add to his coaching record as the Argonauts move to 7-2, best record in all of Canadian football. Final score reads Toronto 32, BC 14. Back to sum up after this.
Every player that I know feels good when he makes a contribution to his team. It's the same feeling you get when you give someone a helping hand. And helping hands is what United Way agencies are all about. Helping families, older people, the disabled, and many more, including our young people. I'd like you to meet Andrew. Thanks to Big Brothers, a United Way agency, he's getting a helping hand. Right, little brother?
Right.
The final score favored the Argonauts, and so did our CBC CompuStats in every category but first downs. Total yards rushing for Toronto, 80, and total passing, 323, net offense, 373. But more importantly on the scoreboard, where the Argos won their 7th game of the season, beating the BC Lions. So that's 2 in a row for the Argos of the BC Lions, and I guess at least for a couple of weeks, Leo, the Argos can say they are without a doubt best team in Canadian football.
Well, they've had a 2-week rest, and they come up big, and it's nice to be able to go home 3,000 miles with that win under your belt.
Conridge Holloway and Terry Greer, an outstanding evening as far as the Argonauts were concerned, and that was really most of the story. The BC Lions were behind at the very beginning, opening quarter, and the Argos never let them catch up. From BC Place, quite a football evening for the Argonauts. Our executive producer tonight, Bob Moyer. Our producer is John Spaulding. Football from Vancouver, directed by Ron Harrison. And our isolation director is Mo Waters. Special thanks to our entire CBC sports crew who made our telecast this evening fun and possible. A reminder, the BC Lions in Montreal next Saturday. Then on Sunday to complete our CBC weekend, Toronto at Hamilton. That's Hall of Fame weekend. Once again, the final score from BC Place in Vancouver, 32-14. Bob Obilovich over Don Matthews.
CFL 83 has been brought to you by Carling O'Keefe, Brewers of OV, the Carlsberg Beers, and Miller High Life. And we thank you for watching. CFL 83 has been a CBC Sports presentation.
This is CBC.